This isn't gonna work well.
It's fun.
If you like talking about trains, you came to the right place. This is Track Smack. Hey, good morning, rail fans, and welcome to Track Smack. Another Track Smack on an early Saturday morning. Well, it's early for some of us. For me, it's a little early anyway. On this show, we talk about trains, model railroads, model building in general. So if you're into that sort of thing, why not just subscribe? And then don't forget to push that little bell icon, bing, so you can catch future videos. Wow, I am so excited to be here on the show today. As you guys know, this starts my weekend with a bang, and I got to tell you something. Today's topic is pretty relevant. You see the graphic behind me there. Obsess much? Sometimes it's hard to find a balance between the hobby time and the rest of life time. And I thought of this topic at about, 10 o'clock last night, 9 o'clock, when I'm still driving screws and banging on hammers down in the new hobby room. I got some footage of that I'm going to show you today, the way it's turning out. It's just awesome. I got up ahead of steam, baby, and I just kept on going. And then realized I was neglecting the wife and I had to set up for this show. So, anyway, relevant topic. So we're going to talk about that today, but we want to hear your thoughts on that. How do you balance the tension between, I got to do my hobby, and yes, honey, I'm coming. Boy, if Cindy Brown, the first lady of model railroading, sees that part, I'm in big trouble. But you know what we like to do here? We like to just jump right over and say good morning in chat. Boom. Good morning, Track Smackers. What the heck is happening over here? There's already a bunch of people in chat. I try to go and say good morning to as many people as I can, but I can't say good morning to everybody because there's so many. But right at the top, on my chat screen, I see Trains and Tugs. Good morning. Ryan Maddox. Good morning. Joe G with a wrench. Good morning. North American Trains. Good morning. Rick with the Plastic Butcher. Good morning. Tom Carr. Joelle, Noel. Joelle and Noel. It sounds like a Christmas song. Bill Lane. Outlaw. Bill Sullivan. Ryan Maddox. Matthew Ward. Mark Pruitt. Okay, whatever. It's going to get a little boring if I name everyone that's in chat, but it's real exciting to see all of you over there. But while you're hanging out in chat, you're going to see some names with wrenches next to them. These are my mechanics. I continue to break down and they fix me. Early morning humor, people. Actually, those are my pride and joy. Those are our moderators for this show. Moderator's job is to make sure we stay on topic, and I have a hard time with that. Make sure all y'all are having a really good time, and then they kick the naughty people out. So don't be naughty, people. And quite frankly, if I've already seen it happen a couple times, do me a favor, guys. This is a community show. We're not advertising your channel or begging for subs. The only one that begs on this channel is me, baby, even if you beg to differ. So, hey, let's just keep it happening. Let's try to stay on topic. So you people over in chat, while you're just chatting along right there, do me a favor and let's try to share our ideas about how we balance our hobby time with our family time and the rest of time and time after time, as our friend Cindy Lauper would sing about. Let's go back to the main cam for a minute. Boom. Hello, main cam. So again, I kind of hinted at it already, but let me give you just a little bit more of an understanding. And like I said, I was up late last night because I was working on the new hobby room. And just a little bit, again, I got some video I'll show you of that. But as I'm sitting there working on it, I'm just really digging it. I mean, I'm in this hobby to sort of escape my reality, okay? I mean, it was only a 3-day work week, and within those 3 days, I managed to get pounded into submission with my day job and some other miscellaneous crap happening. It was like, I need my railroad. So I jumped in and got going on it, or continued working on it. And I was just really digging it, focusing on measurements and layout and height and structural stuff, and just actually the stuff that I'm into construction for too. I like to build stuff. So I'm in there and I'm going and going and going. And, right about, I don't know, 10 o'clock or so, 9:30 our time, I brought Cindy Brown, the first lady of model railroading, in. And I said, da-da, look at what I did. And the thing is solid and it looks awesome. And she was, real encouraging and real excited to see it. Very happy for me. And then, and that's when it, that's when it dawned on me that I got home from work early. And other than having dinner with her and a couple of breaks, I was out there in my man cave the whole time. Who wouldn't want to leave a man cave, by the way? Out there in the man cave, I got my escape from reality. I've got my beer fridge. And I even have a Sonos speaker out there booming. I like to listen to 50s music, by the way. I don't know. On another show, I'll tell you how I was reincarnated, but not on this show. So, okay, so that long preamble is to sort of fire the opening shot and confess that I obsess with my hobby, with my model railroad. I love being out there and working on it. And just being a grown-up with responsibilities, I realized that I can't do that like every waking moment, or bad things happen. And we don't want bad things to happen because our moderators may have something to say about it over in chat. Boom, back over in chat. So, you know how this show works, people. You need to help me run the damn show. So, looking over here, Ryan Maddox says, a way to balance time is having a routine schedule. I work well with them. If you have designated model train times, you will spend more time with family outside of that. And, that's kind of what I'm coming to. I appreciate you putting that up in chat. That's the deal I made with Cindy Brown, First Lady of Model Railroading, as I realized I was obsessing about the layout, was, listen, I want to get done what I want to get done, completed, finished. And then the rest of the weekend, I am your servant. And we'll see how well it goes. But she agreed to those terms. And around here, a week from today, we have a bridal shower for my youngest daughter who's getting married. Why else would you have a bridal shower? I don't know. The bride's dirty, I guess. Whatever. I still don't get it. I'm going to go golfing on that day, by the way. I'm going to get out of Dodge. But we just moved into this new house. She's very proud of it. And you know how some homemakers can get. They want to put their best foot forward. So I promised her I'm just going to work on the house with you for the entire weekend. But there's more to it than that, and a little deeper subject. But anyway, I'm monologuing because I love to hear my own voice. Back over in chat, in scale, Union Pacific, Evanston Subdivision, Roy from Panama in the house saying, balancing hobby time, great topic. I just want to say this, I don't have time for grocery shopping and all that other crap we have to do. I'm too busy working on my layout. And I feel you, Roy, on that. It's like, I don't have time to go to work. I don't have time to go to the bathroom. I got a railroad to build. It's like there's this mission and you have to accomplish it or the universe collapses. And so that's part of the tension. Ron at Ron's Trains and Things with a Wrench says, the issue with schedule is the rest of life doesn't always fit into a regular schedule. And boy, ain't that the truth. I like to work on expectations. It's like, okay, when I get, here's a great example. Friday's my come home early day from work, mostly because I come home with my tail between my legs and just sort of hide out in the hobby room. So I leave early, I get home early, and I roll them sleeves up and boom, work on the railroad. Unless I say to the wife, hey, I'm going to stop at Lowe's on the way home, get some crap. She goes, well, why don't you come get me? we'll get coffee, and then you can go to Lowe's and I'll go to Michael's because they're right next to each other, and then we'll come home. And I'm like, hey, I love it. It's a way to combine efforts. Yeah, so her shopping at Michael's took like an hour, people, like a long time. And so, again, this topic is starting to mull over because in my head, where am I while I'm at Michael's? Certainly not at Michael's. We'll get back to that. So far, I'm liking this topic. And if you guys don't like it, well, don't thumbs down, okay? We get enough of that crap from the jackholes. Mike Heath, if the wife complains about your train/hobby time, I just mentioned checking out the new pub that opened just down the street. Hey, I don't know if you guys remember, there's a country song where the guy says, his wife says, I'm gonna hire a wino to decorate our home. Basically, I'm gonna turn our house into a bar so you don't feel like you gotta go anywhere. So I don't know, maybe if Cindy Brown, First Lady of Model Railroading, let me have some choo-choos throughout the house, boy, I would do whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted, but that's probably not going to happen. Still over in chat, what else do we got? Andrew Jackson is saying, the president is here. Andrew Jackson, I thought you were dead. He says, I spend an hour on my layout during the week after work. Funding is pending, of course. Well, sometimes you run out of time because you ran out of money. And back when before I started doing all this video stuff, it was real simple. I came home from work, I worked on the layout until dinner, and then after dinner, went and hung out with Cindy Brown, First Lady of Model Railroading. Saturdays, over the weekend, I would get I'd get up early. She'd still be sleeping. I'd get up and work on my railroad. Now I get up early on Saturday and I do a railroad show. Not the same thing. Anyway, similar thing for me. I was able to do that then. It's a little tougher now. Steve Arnold is throwing this out there. It's really scary when the wife catches me out in the train room when I was supposed to be doing something else. Oh my God, Steve, that happens to me too. It's like, I'll go out to the garage to get a little something. Hey, honey, can you go out and grab that box of schmuzit valves? And I'll be like, sure, honey, because I'm here for you. And I go out there and I'll stand there and stare at the hobby room and think about this and that. Well, my intention was it was only going to be for a couple of seconds. And then when I finally come back in, she says, where have you been? I got lost. You guys have to know what I'm talking about on this, right? Scrolling back, it's still over in chat. We got North American Trains. Well, I'm actually in and out of the hobby on my own, I suppose. Well, as I'm focusing the majority of the time on my education, LOL. Well, here's the thing. Here, let me just jump back over to the main cam for a minute. Boom, you guys can just ignore me for a while I do some sermonizing. So here's why the graphic behind me says obsess much, and trying to find the balance between hobby time and rest of life time. Okay, if you guys are as obsessed as I am, or in that genre, even when you're not working on the layout, you're working on the layout, if you know what I mean. I'll be sitting there at night having quality time with Cindy Brown, First Lady of Model Railroading, watching an episode of NCIS or something, and I'm not really watching the show. I'm thinking about how I'm going to get that grade from here to here, where I'm going to lay out the towns and industries on the new railroad. I'm not really there. And you know, that we talk about stuff like this. We talk about weathering on this channel or on this show. We talk about turnouts. We talk about track, trees. We've talked about so many things, but, you know, I don't want to be like a railroad therapist here, but just trying to just keep it happening, popping, keeping it real. The obsession is when I get up in the morning thinking about my model railroad. I get ready for work thinking about my model railroad. I drive to work at work, drive home, thinking about my model railroad. Because it's kind of like my safe place I can run off to. And then, I'll tell you something as a sidebar, moderator warning, I'm going slightly off topic. As a moderator, as a sidebar, that's why and I know a lot of you who make videos and stuff feel the same way. That's why we come to our safe place, our model railroad, and somebody thumbs down the friggin' video. Or leaves one of these ridiculous comments, somebody that doesn't even have any videos trying to tell me how to run my show. Not happening. So it's like an invasion of the personal space, the safe place and stuff. But anyway, that's a sidebar. I'll get back on topic. So even when I'm not in the hobby room, I am thinking about my model railroad. I'll sneak away on lunch and watch somebody else's model railroad video. That's how I've gotten to know a lot of you guys. It's like, I gotta watch me a model railroad video. And then that just fuels the fire, right? Because you'll watch somebody's op video, or you'll see how somebody decorated a scene, and then you're like, nah, I need to do that. Nah, obsession. So anyway, look, Steve, confessions of a model railroader this morning on the broadcast. But anyway, back over in chat, boom, does this make any sense? You guys dealing with any of this stuff? And it's a safe place. It's okay. You're okay. I'm okay. There's no right or wrong. There's only opinion. Hey, I figure I'd make it a therapy session while we're at it. Train Fanatic 24 is telling us trains are obsessive. It really is true. I was 5 when I started. Now I'm 23 and worked for the railroad for a company. Once you do that, there's a wild level of respect for it. You do that a while, there's a level of respect for it. Wow, 5 to 23. I got to tell you, I had my first railroad at like 10, and it was a 4x8 HO loop within a loop. And at about 12, I didn't have one anymore. Started building my first layout for real, like the one I have now, when I was, I think, 53, 52. I'm 55 now. That's right, I've come a long way in a short period of time, thanks to people like, boom, you over in chat. What else do we got over here? William Sullivan. Hey, Steve, that sounds like me. I'm obsessing over the layout and how to fit the buildings for gaming. So, William, same thing, right? It's every waking moment you're thinking about it. Is that true? Because that happens to me. Help me, people. I'm reaching to the community for help. Oh, Ron at Ron's Trains and Things, he's throwing up a little advice. I do prioritize the hobby time, though, because it is my therapy in an otherwise very stressful profession and life. Model railroading keeps me sane. And see, that's the thing. People aren't going to get it or understand it, but I could have got into any hobby and found the same, what I'm getting from it right now. I just have a thing for, I like to move loads from A to B. I like to watch the trains go. I like to see a developing scene develop to some kind of completion. It's very satisfying. I may have had the bottle spun and stopped on a different stop. I could have been into something else as a hobby, but nothing else quite captures my essence like model railroading. So there it is, and I don't want to go too crazy with this, but one of the things to consider is there's something that you do that makes you feel good. And so what do you want to do? You want to do what makes you feel good. So you just do it more and more often. Now, in extreme circumstances, people with drug and alcohol problems will deal with that. It's like, I only feel good when I'm drunk. So you get drunk all the time. For me, not so much on the drunk. I'm just saying, I'd rather be a model railroader. But so it satisfies that whatever. So then you start working on it more and thinking about it more. And then what happens is the things that are around you get worse, is how it works for me. And again, I'm not certain if this is huge in your life, But I know there's some people out there that, as a cautionary episode, we should be talking about this a little bit. But anyway, that's me just chit-chatting it up. Boom, speaking of chat, I'm back over in chat. Flyboy2610 says, there's no cure for this addiction, Steve. Boy, that is not wrong. Man, the time I had off from the time the old layout came down at the old place, and I was trying to move all my crap in here and make this happen, that time that went by where I wasn't doing anything was excruciating. I couldn't handle it, man. It was terrible. So I don't know. With that all being said, so I have this garage space full of crap, and I want to get in there and work on it. And I was losing my cookies, baby, because I couldn't do anything on my railroad. Design some crap, make some videos, do some track smacks. It's not the same as driving a nail in with a hammer. So I'm on that road now. I feel so secure. I feel so calm and serene. But we're still in chat with trains and tugs, baby. Trains are fun. I got a Bachmann CP rail starter set on my 6th birthday, but I got rid of it, and now I'm 13. And now I'm obsessed on trying to build a layout. Okay, see what happens, people. The obsession gets to our youth, and look what happens to him. At 13, he's obsessed with building a model railroad. Well, I feel bad for you, but I also envy you. Man, I wish I was obsessed with a railroad at 13. I would own Model Railroader magazine if that was the case. If that's a thing, I don't even know. Collenbach might have something to say about it. Hey, what else, you guys? Any other thoughts on your obsessions over here? Norman Rose got a serious problem. He obsesses about obsessing right over in chat. Woo, everybody. It's okay. Share your story. It's okay. No one will judge you over here in chat. My Keith never knew he was a drunk until I saw him sober one time. You better not be talking about me. No one's ever seen me sober. That's a joke, people. I think. I can't remember. I was up too late working on my railroad. Dwight Curley, I'm making my first layout right now, and my sister always tells me I have time to get it done, but I want to be able to drive at least one train on it, LOL. Well, hey, I feel you on that, which is why I'm going to try everything I can to get my main line operational first, so I can be running around with trains, and then I can get start building the towns and stuff and have some sidings off of that. So, because I need to see my trains run, people. And then, well, we got Roy again from Panama saying, at least I'm not hanging out in nudie bars and other nasty places when I'm in the train room. Hey, if we could combine it. Nope, never mind. I'm not going to go there. Oh my God, though. Sean McGee says, I don't know how you balance it all, Steve. Well, unlike many of you, I don't have a full-time job and a full-time education happening. I don't have children that live in the house except the terriers who, well, they'll be up in a little bit. You'll probably see one. I don't have some of those distractions. I got my full-time job, which sucks, by the way. And then I've got my full-time marriage to Cindy Brown, First Lady Model Railroading, and then my hobby time. So 3 main categories. And then each of them needs to get their time. And that's where the rub is, right? Because something's got to give if I spend too much time on it. But here, let me share another little anecdote with you. I think I've come to this kind of a conclusion. I think this is part of my solution, and we'll see what you guys think in chat of something like this. Okay. The first thing that I decided whilst beginning downstairs to build the hobby room, and the first thing I decided is to stop being in such a freaking hurry to get it done. Because there is this fallacy, this ridiculous idea that it will ever be done. I think Model Railroader Video Plus finishes a layout. It takes them like a freaking year and a half because they do it an inch at a time. But I don't think it'll ever be done. And once it's done, then what happens? You tear it out and start over? Hell no. Not here, baby. I've got too much blood, sweat, and tears. So, first of all, in a hurry to do what? To finish it or whatever? No. So, and this is how I'm processing this while we're coming clean in our little addiction group we have going here today. And that is to stop being in such a hurry to get it done. Then I can go out, I can tinker around in the hobby room and then finish something maybe, and then I'm done. But here is the real tension. And what really honked it up for me is you people. Well, not really, not exactly. I got a thing where I do this show. I do 2 of them a week on this channel, people. And if I just go out and drive 3 drywall screws and stare at my layout for a week, not much content to produce. And so I have this commitment to the model railroad community, or to the modeling community at large, that I'm going to produce some content. That's why you guys are subbed and everything, right? And so that introduces a new tension, and I've had to recently step back from that. Rather than making an actual how-to show. First thing you do is you get a piece of track. Next thing you do is you glue down some road bed, glue down the track, paint like a step-by-step how-to. I can't pull that off. There's too much work to do on the layout of the size that I have now. So to deal with that, instead of being in a hurry to do something at a sequence or order, I'm just showing you what I'm working on now. It's a how-to show. I'll show you how I'm doing it. How do you do it? And try to make it fun for you guys too. So far that technique's working, but it's another way to balance my time. All that to be said, instead of being in such a hurry to finish or to produce content, that makes the hobby a job. And we'll get back to that in a minute. Let's instead, it's about halfway through the broadcast. I think after all this talk about the hobby room, I want to show you a little something, okay? I made a little video last night, and then I pushed the wrong button, people. Announcements are later. Boom, here we go. Here's the new hobby room right here. That top shelf you see up there, that's going to get some LED lighting on it. That lights up the top deck. And I have to tell you, you guys in a couple of weeks will get to see me doing this. But that thing is as solid as Sears. It is, I'm amazed myself. But I finished that top shelf yesterday after work and got it done. But you see, I got some storage up there now. I can put up there. It stops right, well, it went by already. It stops at 2 places. The storage part, because I got the garage door rails there for the garage door opener. And the garage still opens right on top of that. And to keep crap from raining down from the garage door, that shelf you see up there is covered in plywood, and it's sealed to keep stuff from raining down on the layout. So anyway, there is that. And, while we're taking a little break from chat over here, let's just say thank you to Stephen Atwell over at Midwest Model Railroad. I see the Midwest Model Railroad logo popping up everywhere, and there's a reason for that. Steve Atwell right now over there is hooking me up with my LED lighting. And like I said, the track and turnouts are on order. Even got him on the lookout for some sound equipped BNSF diesels. And anyway, if you guys get a chance, why don't you just go over and support his efforts? He works pretty hard over there, has some good stuff, has some good pricing. And I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. So anyway, all that being said, boom, back over to the track smackers. Chat smack? We need a name for this over here. Midwest Model Railroad. Steve, speaking of which, he's over in chat as a moderator, says, wait, this hobby isn't a job? Well, here's the deal. It feels like a job sometimes. And we'll get back to that in a minute, doesn't it? I just combined two sentences into one, and they didn't go together. That's how I roll, baby. Warbonnet Trains, that is true. Making the videos, and it scrolled off my screen. Making the videos, I've worked on the railroad layout even more. Well, and that's the thing. If you're going to make videos about model railroading, you kind of need to build some crap to video, right? We'll get back to that in just a second. Hey, Mark Pruitt says, as solid as Sears. That's not such a good saying these days. Mark, you bring up an excellent point. Used to be as solid as Sears. Now Sears is collapsing like a house made of cards during an earthquake. Well, that sucks. Anyway, solid as Gibraltar. Well, I don't know. We'll come up with it. Mark, help me out with that, will you? Truth Blitz Media, looking good, Steve. Doesn't even look the same. Man, I got to tell you, it really transformed yesterday. I was so stoked when I drove the last piece of plywood down onto that frame. It really looks awesome. Oh, and by the way, Truth Blitz Media sent me a little care package that as we get further down the road in the layout, I'll share with you guys. But it was a pretty cool little gift from one of our subscribers. I appreciate you and what you do. Hey, Flyboy2610 says, that looks good, Steve. Boy, you should see it live. Thank you, by the way. Let's see. Anybody else talking about this? Hey, Mike, he says the neighbors are going to think you're cooking meth in there. You know, I often wonder what my neighbors think of this because I just keep bringing in lumber and plywood and keep sawing and hammering and screwing. Well, that didn't come out right. Sorry, everybody. I told you I was up late. Still over here in chat. Mike Marino, I'm the opposite. The wife wants me in the train room. Wow. In some ways, that would be a dream come true. I guess it depends on your marriage. In my case, boy, if that was the case, I might have to give up model railroading. I don't know. Perish the thought. Hey, look at that. Big Bill's checking in over at South Brooklyn Railroad. Take the summer off from the hobby and get out of the basement to smell the roses. Big Bill, what are you even saying? Who could do that? I couldn't do it, Bill. I have a hard enough time going, okay, here's one for you. Cindy and I, First Lady of Model Railroading, beginning in November, went on vacation to the beautiful island of Maui. Did a couple live shows from over there. And it was awesome. Beautiful. Wife in a bikini, just looking hot. And the sun is tanning our skin. A beautiful ocean and sand. I really wanted to come back and work on my railroad. That is just honked up, people. That's no way to run a railroad. Oh, hey, I made a tie-in. I'm so very proud of me right now. Hey, still over in chat. By the way, thank you for that. Still over in chat. People are saying, okay, Charles Sapp, if I can say that correctly, says, I like Gibraltar. This is as solid as Gibraltar. Maybe we'll do that. I like it. How's the obsession going? How are you guys dealing with the obsession? Anybody, you guys done talking about the obsession? Come on now. Darren Garriott, I hope I said that correctly, Darren. The hobby is definitely an addiction. There's nothing like opening a fresh model kit and checking the sprues before breaking out the side cutters and Tamiya extra thin, whatever. Model railroading or scale models, the love is the same. Boy, it certainly is. I got to tell you, when I got done framing the walls out there, it smelled like cut wood. Now, some of you are going to know what I'm talking about. You walk out there and this fresh cut wood smell, and it drives me on to do more. And so the obsession just gets out of control. But anyway, trains and tugs, going slightly off topic. Conspiracy theory of the year, Curious George is a robot. because he has no tail. Well, we might get back to that on the other channel, not on this channel. Okay, look, conspiracy people, out of the chat for me, will you? Let's talk about that on the Dirt Show, not on the Model Railroad Show. So going back, bing, over to the main cam. So again, here's the thing. Why do I even care? Why do I care? I'm obsessed. It's my safe place to go. I really enjoy the fulfillment, the satisfaction of nearly every component of model railroading. Soldering, still not a big fan of soldering, people. You guys know that. Not digging it. Wasn't a big fan of taking the racking down and cleaning up the room. It really kind of ticked me off I had to do that. But then the realization that if I don't do that, I can't, move forward and build the rest of the layout. So anyway, I love pretty much everything about model railroading. I just dig it. I dig the community. I dig the trains, the modeling, the satisfaction I get. So I dig that so much that I will spend my life out there doing that. Matter of fact, if you guys ever watch NCIS, you know that Gibbs, he goes to work every day, and the job is his life. But when he comes home, he goes down into his basement. He works on a boat. And he'll do that till the wee hours of the morning in silence. He's using only hand tools, no power tools, having a little burb while he's doing it. And maybe he'll listen to the game, the World Series or something. Just down there working till the wee hours of the morning. I have often thought that if I didn't have a day job, or if, God forbid, something happened to Cindy Brown, the First Lady of Model Railroading, I would live in the hobby room because it's the safe place. But see, that's unrealistic. We can't just spend all of our time working on our railroads because what we think is quality time begins to diminish because the rest of life is not getting its attention. And for me, that introduces a guilt complex. I start getting frustrated, irritated that I can't be out working on my railroad because I have to go to dinner with Cindy Brown, First Lady of Model Railroading. It just sucks. It's just dumb. So if I was going to offer any kind of advice, and some of you are already doing an excellent job offering advice, it would be, I already like what a couple of folks have said. Designate the time and have everyone agree this is the time you get to spend. Use it and then blow out of there. Go live the rest of your life. Tough. It's tough at first, people, but you have to take the first step to recover from the model railroading obsession. And by the way, again, let's open this discussion up. It's not just model railroading. It's model building in general. There's just so much to do, and it's so fun. And then there you go. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do, people. Just to round it out, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the time hanging out with you guys in chat because that's what I do. Anyway, first step is to acknowledge you have a problem. It's like the 12 step. I got like 5 steps to model railroad recovery. Okay. First step is to admit you got a problem. I may have a problem since all I ever do is think about my railroad or actually be out with the railroad. Second thing is to understand that it's a problem that can have negative impacts on your life because you're ignoring other things that are probably more important than the obsession, right? Then the third step is to come up with a plan to change that. And the fourth step is to implement that plan. The fifth step is to have a beer with Steve in his new train room. Boom. One time had to make a beer plug in there somewhere. So that's what I'm doing. There's like 15 minutes or so left in this broadcast. When it's over, it's over. And I will not be working on that train again till Monday after work, where I'm going to start putting the LED lighting in. Oh, hey, moderators, do you mind if I just go off topic for just a second? I need to throw out something I need some help with. I'm going to do it. Hey, don't time me out, okay? I need to switch gears real quick. My top shelf there is at 7 feet, okay? And the next deck is going to be at roughly 54, 55 inches to the top, right? So it's 2 feet-ish between them. And when I stand there, it's very exciting. I'm imagining that I'm working in the yard, the Brownsmith Railroad yard. But when I look up slightly, I can see the framework underneath the shelf. It looks like crap. I don't know what to do. Should I paint that? Should I put some tempered hardboard over it and paint that so it looks like the sky continues up there? What do you guys do? I don't know. I don't want to like do it and redo it and redo it. Certainly don't want to waste any time. So I'm throwing that out to chat. So that's like your homework assignment, okay? You can just leave me answers in the comment section of this video once it uploads and is freely available to the entire community. Going back over, probably on topic. Look at that, I didn't get timed out by anybody. Oh, Midwest Model Railroad, or you're so cool. It's your show. It's my railroad, damn it. It's my show. All right, so going back up, we're going to be talking about 2 things now because we're obsessed, and that's how it works. Let's see. Dogger Bend Railway. Boom, Dogger Bend. What I say to people, how many hobbies do you know you can build your own world and watch it come alive? Well, hey, that's slightly off topic, but it still plays to it. The model railroad thing, when you're done with the model, it does stuff. It's amazing. And now if you had like model airplanes, drones and all that, that does something. But you kind of have to go outside, and the weather's got to be right, and yada, yada. Railroads, you'll flip the switch, chug, chug, chug. Whew. Sorry, I sound obsessed, don't I? Let's see. Andrew Jackson, the president, still over in chat. I have to admit I'm obsessed. I have 2 layouts, a HO layout based on Australian trains and an in-scale English layout. Hey, how come you're excluding America from that, Jack? Just kidding. That would be an obsession, 2 layouts. I'm ultimately maybe going to have that. Yeah, we'll talk about that another time because I don't want to sound like I'm obsessed with the topic. Noel McCarthy, Steve, this hobby has really taken over the years. The manufacturers are banging all their items into hobby stores. Well, the manufacturers aren't exactly putting their crap into hobby stores anymore. It's all online, but makes it tough. Sometimes I like to go to a hobby store just to visit the trains. Hi, trains. I'm Steve with It's My Railroad. You know, the last hobby store I used to go to, I'd walk in and I didn't even have my shirt on. And I would just walk around. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I want to buy this because I want to do it on my YouTube show. Oh, you got a YouTube show? Yeah, I got like, at the time, I got 3,000 subscribers, something like that. Oh, okay, cool. Will that be cash or check? Whatever. Recognize me. You will recognize that I am a model railroader, Bubba. Warbonnet trains, curve hardboard to the top, covering the frame and eliminating the corner, then painted a dark color. I was thinking about that, quite honestly, to do something like that, but which works at the right angles from the deck up. My problem is when I get to the turns, they're going to be curved. I don't know what to do there. I haven't figured it out yet. But I was thinking, or maybe have it start at the fascia and bevel straight back, just like at a slope like this, some kind of way, something like that, to sort of give it some forced perspective. Anyway, keep them coming, because you guys are already in the genetic code of this model railroad. What else about obsessing? We got any obsessions going on in there? What are you doing? Hey, Ron at Ron Strains and Things saying if you board it up, you will lose all access to your wiring for your lighting. And Ron, you ain't lying. Now, luckily, to whatever degree, I'm going to have those long rolls of LEDs. By the way, I'm only talking about that deck because short people, which to me is anybody at 5 feet or so, will look up and see it. But on the second deck, you'll be sitting in a chair. It's not going to be as obvious. It's just when you're standing there, you can see the bottom of the shelf. So, but those long strips of LEDs, which brings up another thing. If I can see that, I'm going to be blinded by the LEDs too, maybe. It's like, I don't like working on the second deck. It's too inconvenient. So these are all things. Ron, thank you for bringing that up because I haven't quite figured it out yet. Then Charles is saying, have an upper fascia / valance to have a nice finished look to the layout, and it helps direct the light to only the layout and not your eyes. Yeah, actually, that shelf you saw, I'm going to put, presently I'm thinking about a 6-inch valance all the way across it. All the shelf and both decks will have that. It's an awesome look I've seen on other people's shelf railroads that I really can't wait to employ this time around. Mike Pfeiffer, I love the obsession quote, Mike. They can have my guns, but don't touch my trains. You can have my trains when you pull the throttle from my cold, dead fingers. That was like an evil voice. I don't think we need that voice anymore. Do you? I don't. Hey, one more little show I'm going to announce here real quick while we're all just hanging out like buddies. Something else, you know, we don't have enough going on here. One of my other obsessions apparently is video crap because a lot of it comes out of this very studio. Sunday night, 6 p.m. Pacific on the supposedly chic channel. Cindy Brown, First Lady of Model Railroading, and myself do our improv comedy bit live. And I know a bunch of you show up and do it. Matter of fact, some of that show's moderators are here in chat right now. So again, supposedly chic channel on YouTube, 6 p.m. Pacific. Come hang out with me and the First Lady of Model Railroading. Well, let's just jump back over to chat one more time to say goodbye. Back over to chat. Any final shots you guys want to fire on the obsession? Because I was so obsessed with the topic that I talked about it for the whole show. Those are the jokes, people. Get over it. M&M Rails, not only do I obsess over my layout, I obsess over others' layouts. If someone doesn't post a video in over a month, I break out into a cold sweat. Hey, I feel you on that, except maybe not a cold sweat. But there's videos that I watch religiously, and if A, they don't put one out, or B, I just can't get over and watch it because life is intruding. I lose my crap. And then they start backing up. I got to sit down. Now I'm obsessing about watching model railroad videos. So I watch them, but I'm not working on the layout. Something's got to give. Yeah, so I took a day off work. Boom, I'm the boss. I get away with it. And then I don't make any money. And it's a spiral. Let's not talk about that anymore. All right, so listen, all of you people in chat, all of the moderators, you guys did a great job today. Thank you so much for keeping this show just moving. Love seeing all the people that are in there right now. You guys are just having such a good time. And I'm afraid, though, it is time to wind it up. Time to take this train into the station. Hey, again, thanks for being here on TrackSmack. What a great time. If you are obsessed with model railroading, there's no hope for you. Just kidding. Hey, so have a great weekend. If you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and do it. And until next time, my name is Steve Brown, and rail on, my friends.